Okay, this is the follow-on video for the Pelican case, trying to get the top to stay in. So I siliconed it, and it sort of worked and it sort of didn't. So let me show you what happened and we'll get into it. So what I found out is that it is sticking. It's funny, it hadn't even dried and it's been a couple days. But I didn't work the silicone into the foam. So when I put the bead on the back and I put a bead on the foam, it connected, but this never really stuck in the foam except in one or two spots. So what needs to happen is I need to put some of this on, a bunch. And then it needs to be like worked into. And once it's worked into that, I should be able to put a big old wad. So having said that, I'm going to move on and do some more. And now it's going to stick, because now the foam's got a hold of it. So this has a bottom, and I'm going to do the same thing. Compared to the cost of the Pelican case, the foam is pretty cheap. So if I ever wanted to reuse this Pelican case, I just would order some new foam, tear it out and start over. I'm just going to make sure I get this worked into the foam. Now I'm going to put a little more. Not that it changes anything, but this piece of foam was a little bit denser than the other foam I was using. And it was left over from the last time I was using this. And that looks like it right there. So I'm done with this. Next I want to work on this. So I'm going to get these two pieces of foam to stick together, where when I pull something out, it wants to separate. And I'm going to do that the same way as I did before. I'm going to put some caulk down, and then I'm going to work it into the foam on each piece. I started out putting little spots of caulk down, and then realized just a long continuous bead would be better. There we go. I was lazy and grabbed a kitchen knife to push the caulk into the foam. Okay, there's one done. All the way around the edge. I just had to make sure I put caulk in the same places on both sides. I'm just going to put another bead on both sides. I put more caulk on both sides because I really wanted these two pieces to stick together. This piece is the bottom, and this piece is the top. Line these up. I'm using the edges more than anything else here. Once again, the caulk is going to dry clear. I've got a couple pieces that go in the bottom. I chose a water-based caulk because it's so much easier to do cleanup. It's a damp cloth or a rag, and you can wipe most everything up. I just went ahead and filled in all the voids with caulk. There were a couple places I just used the caulk like glue. I'm just mashing this in like that. This time I was sure to put a lot of pressure at the end of the caulk gun to make sure when I squeezed the trigger it was forcing the caulk into the foam. There we go. Now it just needs to dry. My biggest complaint with the caulk is that it takes too long to dry. I caulked this before I went out of town like 3 days ago, and it is still completely wet. you can see wet. So if you're planning on doing this, you better plan on leaving it for a while. Well, there it is. I hope you learned something. Like, subscribe, check out those playlists, and I'll see you in the next video. And it won't be pelican cases.